Hey y'all, how you doing? I'm your Black Ribbon Warrior, Lee. I am a stage 4 metastatic melanoma cancer survivor, warrior. As we all know, melanoma is kind of like the mafia. There's only one way out: death. I know it's kind of morbid, it's kind of rough, but once you have it, it doesn't really go away. But I wanted to bring something up today that happened the other day that I didn't really realize how much of a powerful story it could be for somebody going through cancer. And it's something we take advantage of. We take for granted. So my wife and I, when we were going through this, we decided to start a podcast. And the podcast is called Black Ribbon Warrior. And we were, that would have been December of 21. So somewhere in 2022, we started it. And in this podcast, I've been playing some of the episodes on this channel. My wife and I got to learn each other's side, so she could tell me what she saw and what experienced, and I could tell her what I saw and experienced. Sorry, got a little parched. So in this, it was very strong because when you don't know what the other person's going through or what their thought process is, their emotional state, and you're just guessing, it can be very traumatizing to a relationship, to your spouse. And for me to understand or get an idea of what she went through was pretty strong. And for her to get an idea of what I went through, because I know during the early stages before I got diagnosed, she just thought I was being lazy, that I was sleeping a lot, that maybe I had relapsed in sobriety, or maybe was doing some other narcotics or something. I don't know what she thought, but she knew something wasn't right, and she didn't know what it was, and kind of looked at my past track record and said, this is kind of in line with some of the other stuff he's done, so are we going back to that? And then find out that it was cancer and not alcohol. So praise the Lord. But what this has done for us in being able to discuss openly, and we did it on air. There was no trial runs, anything. It was, this is it. So when you listen to that podcast, this is the first time she's saying those words to me, and the first time that I'm hearing those words and being able to share with her what I'm thinking too. So what this did was it put me in a position, it's put me in a position that I wanted to be in. I'm, considered medically retired right now, because I'm terminal. Is that ideal? No. Did I want to retire early? Yes. Okay. My wife and I are doing more things together that have meaning, instead of just going to dinner together or going to the grocery together. We're taking little weekend trips. We're tackling putting in hardwood floors, well, they're like laminate floors, LVLs, but we're tackling putting in new flooring ourselves and doing it within our limitations. So it's taking longer, but we're not getting upset at each other. If you watched last week's episode, we just got back from a vacation. That was the first time. Now, we got married in September of 2002, and this right now that I'm recording is April 25th of 2025. This is the first time we've ever flown together. The second time that I've flown in our marriage. The second time she's flown in our marriage. So it's kind of crazy, kind of wild, and we're doing more things together, trying to build the memories, and the whole point of this was I brought up because this group that I am a part of is called F3. It's a fitness, fellowship, and faith, and those are your 3 F's. And I walk with a lot of these guys in the mornings, because hey, the sun's not up, it's not trying to kill me while I'm out doing my exercise. I'm just walking. I'll walk about 3 miles, 2.5 to 3 miles a day, or however many times I go out that week. But and you get to talk and you get to meet people and that are going through similar struggles or different struggles, but you can really relate to. Everybody's got health problems. There was a fellow that I got to meet last week, just a couple days ago, and I'd heard about his story, and he was going through some health, colon problems, and had really strict food stuff. So I felt compelled to, or I felt obligated. Obligated is the wrong word. I was felt led to make this guy and his family some meals. There was him and his wife and 2 kids, and I made a beef stew. It was a recipe from my aunt, and I have no idea how old this stew is, but we made it. It's called a no-peak stew, and I put it in bags so that way it was kind of proportioned out to to meals. And then took over some smoked chicken and pulled smoked chicken and delivered it to him. That the first time I ever met the guy was dropping this off. So fast forward to just a couple days ago, I made a breakfast with some of the F3 guys, and I sit down and he's right across the table from me. And so he introduced himself, and I said, I remember you. Yeah. And he goes, oh, wait, you're the guy that brought me the meals. He goes, that beef stew was awesome. We've put it into our weekly routine, our weekly meal preps. It was like, awesome, man, awesome. So then we got talking about his colon problems and, the symptoms and all that, and kind of the story and how it all got going in the hospital stuff. And I was like, I can really relate to you. And I went through something sort of similar, but not really. And he kind of looked at me like, what? And I told him I went through melanoma, and I had a tumor in between my brain and my skull, and we had to go through brain surgery and all that. And he was like, whoa. And so he asked how long I'd been married. And, I was like 23 years. This year will be 23. And he's like, wow, that's a long time. And I said, yeah, the last 4 have been the best. And he kind of looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, cancer and post-cancer have been the best part of my marriage. Like the best my marriage has ever been. And he goes, how so? And I was like, because cancer took me out of the stressful situation of the job, the single income, I'm the man, I got to provide financially for the house, all that. It took that burden away. I mean, I still do, but it took it away and put things in perspective that mean more than keeping the lights on. I mean, we got to keep the lights on, but you know what I mean? It refocused what's important. And, you know, I've said this many a times that I would rather hang a new picture on the wall of something that we did than buy a new lamp or a new couch. You know, people, your wife, your kids, your grandkids, they're going to remember what you did, like their picture. They're going to see the picture and they're going to say, wow, I remember that. Or, Mom, what did we do here? And that'll bring up that story and that memory. So that's a way for us to keep our memories alive, to keep us alive after we're gone. And this guy was he was like, man, he goes, that's a heck of a testimony. He goes, something like that, you know, marriages fall apart. And I said, yeah. And for us, it brought us closer together. We take the time to, I may not tell her I love her and hug her every day, but I make sure that there's 3 things that I do every day. Wake up on this side of the grass, see my wife and kids if they're home or around, and get coffee. So those are my 3 things. Wake up on the side of the grass, see my wife, and get coffee. Simple things, but they mean the whole day is right there. If I don't have those in my day, it's off. So and this guy was like, man, he goes, that's a heck of a testimony. And I kind of looked at him. He goes, that story. And he was like, that's a testimony to you guys and your strength and your, you know, to give hope to, you know, others going through something like this, you know. And I guess I hadn't thought of it like that. And it's kind of hard to say it like that, you know, to call it a testimony, but it is. And there's other things, struggles, of family dynamics that we're going through outside of the wife and I and stuff that are tough. We've had family members not talk to us anymore. We've had friends come and go, whatnot, and it almost seems like that even in your troubling times, there's somebody that's going to try to slide in and take advantage of you. So you got to watch that stuff. But anyway, my wife just said, you know, imagine me trying to do this without you, trying to navigate all these waters. And that was an eye-opener for me. Like, wow, yeah, that would have been extremely tough. So if you don't have that open line of communication with your spouse, it is very, very, very important to sit down and listen. And as the patient, as the one going through it, our pain is one thing, The caregiver's pain is another. And I can't, I can only think the thoughts that she had, the day-to-day trying to, like, because I was like, if I wake up, I'm good. If I don't pee my pants, I'm good, right? Little stuff. But for her to think, he could die today. He could die today. He's going through brain surgery, and that didn't kick in until, she was watching her Grey's Anatomy show, and the doctor's in there working in the brain, and I looked at her and I was like, holy crap. And she goes, what? And I said, that was me. If that doctor sneezes, that guy's dead. And she goes, yep. I said, I can't watch this. And I haven't been able to watch it since. Open lines of communication, sit down and listen to them, and don't try to compare their point of view to yours. They see things differently, and out of love. Communication's huge. So my hat's off to my wife. Cheers. Thank you, my dear. And hey, we'll see you guys on the next one, which will be a Melanoma Monday in Melanoma Month, Melanoma Awareness Month. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.